Hi, this is James Gordon of October Library here with some graphic novels for October Terror. The first one I'll be talking about today, Batman Arkham Asylum by Morrison and Dave McKean. Alright. This was first published by DC Comics in October 1988. This reprints from 2021. For my first read of Batman, I did not like this graphic novel. While I thought the idea of Batman having to take on dangerous criminals while in an insane asylum during a prison riot sounded really interesting, however, the plot I found was very simple and basic. Like, not much really happens, and I thought there was like a lot of missed opportunity that the writers could have done so much more with this idea. I found the plot kind of boring, actually. Despite some interesting illustrations by David McKean, like, the illustrations kind of were like hit and miss. Like, some illustrations I thought were well drawn, others not so much. I really didn't like the way Batman was drawn with like these very long ears. They just didn't look right. And there are other issues or problems I had with this graphic novel. Overall, I didn't like it. I found it kind of mostly boring. Despite not liking this graphic novel, I will try other Batman graphic novels and hopefully find something I enjoy. As I do like the character of Batman and the city Gotham. The character lives in all the other criminal stuff. Like, it's very interesting. But as they say, we can't like everything. But yeah, I just didn't like this one. It wasn't for me. During my review, I will explain the problems and issues I had with Arkham Asylum. Alright, on to the review. Plot. On the night of April Fool's Day, Batman is called by Police Commissioner Jim Gordon. He informs Batman that a riot has broken out in Arkham Asylum and the Joker is holding all the staff hostage and threatens to kill them if Batman doesn't show up. Using Gordon's phone, Batman calls the asylum with Joker answering the call. Batman asks what his demands are, with Joker telling him to come alone or he'll murder a nurse he's holding hostage, which he pokes her eyes out with a sharp pencil. Gordon tells Batman he doesn't have to do it, as they can send in a SWAT team. Fearing the life of the hostages, Batman tells Gordon he'll go in alone. Upon arriving at Arkham Asylum with the Joker waiting for him, entering inside, several of the criminals are armed and holding the staff hostage, while the inmates are sitting at a table. Batman notices Two-Face is stacking cards, with his therapist, Dr. Ruth Adams, explaining his mental condition was deteriorating. She has replaced his two-sided coin with cards, allowing him to make more choices. However, it renders him incapable of making even the simplest choices. The Joker then challenges Batman to a game of hide-and-seek. If he can get out of the asylum alive and avoid being hunted down by the dangerous criminals, he'll let all the hostages go. Batman refuses, with the Joker grabbing a guard and shoots him in the head with a pistol, then holds Dr. Adams at gunpoint, forcing Batman to play Joker's deadly game. As Batman travels through the dark and creepy asylum seeking past or fighting criminals he's captured, he's also haunted by his past that tests both his strength and fear, while uncovering the true menace behind this riot. Batman will also have to deal with Killer Croc, who is out to kill him. Can Batman save the hostages and prevent the criminals from unleashing their madness onto Gotham City? That is, if his fears don't kill him first. Batman Arkham Asylum wasn't a good graphic novel. It felt too short, as the plot could have been fleshed out into something more, with Batman having to deal with several challenges, as the task Batman is given felt too simple. Didn't find the backstory of how Arkham Asylum was created interesting, or its founder, Armandus Arkham, being driven into madness from his tragic life. Despite having a good fight scene with Batman and Killer Croc, but Batman doesn't do much and felt he was a bit of a pushover during some of the later fights. The criminals give up after Batman wins Joker's challenge, as none of them try fighting him or escaping. A few scenes in the story were a bit confusing, with Batman getting impaled at one point, but later seems to be fine, showing no signs of injury. The pacing felt cut and dry. It would just get right into it with no opening scene. The story could use more meat and potatoes to really add more layers of detail and some extra filler to help even the pacing to make it flow better. The illustrations by David McKean was hit and miss for me. While some scenes I liked, however, I didn't like how Batman was drawn with very long ears. Other images I felt were lacking detail. I didn't like the switches between photographs and illustrations, with the two not blending well for me. Some scenes of the Joker I did like and others not so much. Overall, Batman Arkham Asylum wasn't for me. I felt it could have been a lot better, with more to its plot, better illustrations, and more scenes of fighting, along with psychological horror, and even added ambient scenes would have been nice too. Maybe you enjoyed this graphic novel more than I did. All right, that's the review today. Hope you enjoy it. Yeah, as I said, this graphic novel wasn't for me. When I first got this, I thought Arkham Asylum was gonna have more to it. Like I remember bits and pieces of the video game of the same name where Scarecrow releases this like gas onto the prison wardens and stuff, and it causes all of them to basically be living their worst nightmare. And Batman begins hallucinating as he's trying to save both the hostages and stop the criminals from escaping and unleashing their menace onto Gotham City. The graphic novel wasn't anything like that. The, the plot of both the video game and the graphic novel are completely different from each other. Yeah, as I said, like I felt that the story for the graphic novel of Arkham Asylum was just too simple, and there wasn't really a lot. It's very short, as it just throws you right into the story. We don't even get any like scenes of this prison riot, which is one thing I kind of felt it was lacking. Like we don't see much of the asylum, just a lot of like dark, dreary hallways and some other areas that are like very dark and stuff. But we don't get to see much of the asylum. I thought as I felt, there was a missed opportunity to have some like kind of like ambient scenes where it's just like empty areas of Arkham Asylum. You see the chaos that has happened during this prison riot. We don't get any of that. So I felt that's something that was really lacking in this graphic novel. As when Batman gets there, the Joker's waiting for him, and he gives him this simple challenge to do, and he completes it. But I just felt it was kind of like a walk in the park. Like, can't you think of something more challenging and stuff? I just felt the story could have been a lot better. I just felt too simple and basic and very cut and dry. It just gets right to the point. There's no opening scene or intro. It just throws you right into it. I felt it's too short. As I felt this could have been so much more. And as I said, I didn't like the subplot about the creator of the Arkham Asylum, and it shows his tragic backstory and how he built it and what drove him into madness. I didn't find that really interesting. Like, it doesn't really. Well, it kind of plays a part into who's actually is responsible for the prison riot, but I just felt really you did all this because the supposed creator of Arkham Asylum had a fear of bats, and that's your reason for doing this. I felt it was kind of dumb. I'm not going to give away the ending. You have to read that for yourself. I just felt it could have been a lot better if you ask me. Yeah. So some of the illustrations, I kind of felt were hit and miss. Like I didn't like the blend. I didn't like the mix of photographs and like illustrations mixed together. I just felt it didn't really blend. And some of the illustrations of the Joker I really didn't like. Like here's an example. I'll show. Like look at the Joker's mouth. Look at this. His head. It doesn't look right. And throughout the graphic novel, like I feel that the images of him didn't match. Like some of the illustrations of the Joker I just felt were not that well drawn, and others I felt like they really line up. Let's see if I can find a good picture of oh, here's another illustration I really didn't like. This illustration here, I can barely see the Batman at all. Like it's like very grainy. I can't see him in these illustrations that well. And there's probably another image I can use, but this is just the only one that comes to mind. Look at Batman's ears. Like they're twice as long as they should be. Like so, as I said, I felt some of David McKean's illustrations, some like they were hit and miss with the way Batman looked and some of the other characters and stuff. I will say though, probably the scene that I did enjoy was the fight scene between Batman and Killer Croc, which I felt was really well drawn. If I can find it. One of my favorite parts is what it shows the eye reflection of Batman appearing in the shot. So I did enjoy this part here. I just felt it. I just felt it was kind of like too short. I wish it went a little longer. So Yeah, overall, I didn't like this graphic novel. I felt it had a lot of missed opportunity with the story, the plot, and it really, as I said, lacking meat and potatoes to beef it up more, so it could be a lot, more bigger, grander, and much better to deliver more, moments of like brutal fighting, psychological horror elements, and some like like the chaos of this prison riot that's taking place. That's what I want to see more of, and we don't get any of that. So yeah, this, as I said, this Batman graphic novel wasn't for me, but I am gonna try some other ones. Like there's a lot of other ones I've heard a lot of people have praised. So I will eventually one day get a bunch of other Batman graphic novels, and that way I have some other ones to try. This is just the first one I just bought. I remember when I got this, I was picking between this and The Long Halloween. I went with Arkham Asylum because I remember hearing a lot. This was like a fan favorite. Um, so I chose that one. I kind of wish I got the Long Halloween and maybe some other another ones. That way I would have had something else to read as well. But eventually I will definitely get the other Batman graphic novels. Alright, that's it for the review today. I hope you enjoyed it, and please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to October Library, the new channel where I post book reviews, book hauls, and our fiction-related content. Until then, I'll catch you later.